here we are once again with The Rock doing things no one asked him to do. I don't know what it is. The Rock is an idiot. The dude has rocks for brains. All right? He has rocks for brains. I don't know what's going on with this guy. But ever since he's come back and had a bigger role in the WWE, he has just made so many countless poor decisions, like not appearing for one of the biggest, and I mean the biggest storylines in wrestling history. And he's solely responsible for it. Now throwing his hands up and walking away from it. What an absolute idiot. So he gets on Pat McAfee's show and he basically tries to cover up for the WWE in, you know, what happened with WrestleMania 41 and him not being there and the whole entire build being lackluster because he was part of this storyline. But here we are. He has discussed some of these things with Pat McAfee, and for obvious reasons, people are pissed. Every time this man opens his mouth or is making decisions. But I just want to get to the primary points. I'm going to upload some of the quotes on the screen, but I just want to get to the points themselves, okay? So the main thing being is him saying, we've established this idea of Cody Rhodes' soul. We can always come back to it. I did feel I made the call. I don't want to be involved in that. Let the final boss step back into the shadows. Let all the spotlight go to John. Let it go to Cody. Let's not make it about Cody's soul or John's soul. Let's let them do what they do. Too late. Too late. You should have made that decision before you decided to get involved at Elimination Chamber. You should have made that decision before you ever conceptualized it. I don't care. You should have known that you, oh my gosh, for someone in this position, you should have known as someone who is so high up on the, love saying, board of directors, you should have known that the decision that you were going to make was going to heavily impact things going forward. You can't decide after Elimination Chamber, well, I'll back up. No, it's too late. You should have came and you should have committed. Pause on the came part. You should have committed to the storyline. You should have committed to the build, and you should have committed to WrestleMania 41. You barely do anything already. What did it cost you to take a little bit of time to commit to a company that you are a part of? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I can't even say I'm all the way too surprised because this has been The Rock's thing. It's Rock's schedule. It's Rock's wants and needs above anybody else's. And he moves like an idiot, and it affects other people. Because instead of The Rock coming out on WrestleMania 41, we have Travis Scott. And don't get me wrong, Travis Scott is a superstar in terms of rap. He is. I'm not his biggest fan, but he is him. He is certified. But this is wrestling, all right? This crowd isn't mutually all a hip-hop fan base. It means nothing for him to come out in a wrestling storyline that he doesn't have the most contributions in. He has never cut even a promo before. The Rock leads the company. He should be the example. He should lead by example. Instead, he has shown time and time again he's not reliable, he's selfish, and also an idiot who's not responsible for anything that he does. because I don't even want to fully get into how he basically undermined Triple H. Whole other situation. But there's other quotes on here. Rock said, I called after Elimination Chamber, spoke to him, called Cody. I think the final boss work is done. We've established it. We just pulled off the greatest angle in the history of professional wrestling, other than Hulk Hogan turning heel back in the 90s. Yes, now it's a we thing, right? You called after Elimination Chamber. Like, you established the final boss character and you're done with it. You're done with it. After it just, it basically, it changed everything last year. And it's still been a big thing going into this year. And you're done. He said, I love the finish of Sunday's match. I would have finessed things a little differently in how they got there. But that's just me creatively. There are a lot of minds in the room. That's my thought, but still ultimately the bottom line was I love John getting 17. I never had a concern about John pulling this off. My thoughts were always to Cody because of what we've established with him and his story and the kind of babyface he is. So if done right, I think if finessed right and nuanced right, down the road, that guy not only has an incredible babyface run again as champion, but also just an unheard of rise as a heel down the road. Which is, I think we all relatively agree, I guess. The problem with this retarded, dumb comment Rock made is it undermines Triple H. And, oh my gosh. I don't want to make this a attack on Triple H video because I've already kind of made it known on my channel how I feel about WrestleMania 41. But The Rock, with this comment, is undermining Triple H a ton. A ton. Maybe he didn't intend to, but with everything that's gone on, The Rock looks like a douchebag. And it's just wild that we're even here discussing this because this man should be doing things to help the company. And we keep having a lot of conversations about him doing the opposite. It's mind-blowing. The whole thing, this whole interview, this whole conversation with Pat McAfee is nonsense. I think this is the last quote I'll talk about. He said, we can insert final boss in the end of this finish, but then where do we go? Johnson said, there's other commitments that I have. I want to also be careful that we're not overstepping and leaning over our skis too much here. Can get involved in the finish, but I said, why get involved in that finish when the spotlight should just be on, in my opinion, John 17, heel champion. What does 2025 look like if this man says he is going to ruin professional wrestling? That to me is the anchoring storyline. It's not so right now. We'll go back to it. Again. If you felt this way, if you thought this, if you had an inkling of any of this, it should have been taken into consideration before things got to the point of John going heel. And that's where most of this lives and dies. He has done so much to make this industry look like a clown show. And it just is so unprofessional. All the people who bought tickets to Las Vegas in hopes that Final Boss Rock, who was integral to the storyline, would show up. And here you are giving endless, pathetic amounts of excuses, opinions, and thoughts that are irrelevant because we've gotten what we've gotten. The best thing Rock could have done was shut up. And that's the truth.